Shabbat Shalom. This parasha is the parasha Shoftim, the judges. This parasha has been very special parasha in many areas, especially among our sages, because this parasha, in certain way, is going to give us an idea about the Mashiach, the Messiah. You know, the different functions of the Messiah in different roles. As a judge, as a king, as a priest, and as a prophet. And all these areas, we are going to see that the very special envoy of the Creator to his people has a role to play. We Jewish people, we have been waiting for Mashiach. And depending which group do you belong, depending what is your understanding about the Mashiach, you are going to side to one side or to the other. My intention is not to try to convince you that my Mashiach is better than your Mashiach. But my intention is that you understand that the Creator is working in those areas. And He is the final word, not us. Interestingly enough, in this portion about starting with judges, the Creator said to us as individuals that we need to choose judges, we need to choose authorities, we need to choose our leaders in order that they are going to guide us. You know, the judge is a guide, the king guides us, the priest guides us, and the prophet guides us. Then all of them, they are going to guide us. Now, the question sometimes is, how do you elect, how Israel elected these people? And it's very interesting. You know, I have been a rabbi for many years, and I am a professional counselor. And I have done a lot of counseling in different areas, but the areas that I like to counsel is family counseling and especially pre-marriage counseling. I love that area because that helps to fortify later on the marriages. And then also I do marriage counseling. But in all this time, you know, I have never found the perfect couple. I have never found the perfect family. I have never found the perfect anything. But I have found a lot of couples, a lot of families who they trying to do their best. And this is what is the idea about it. The idea is not trying to be the only ones, but to be an example to others. You know, one thing that is very important in being a Jew, to me, because we are the projection of what the Creator has given to us, to be Or Legojim, to be light to the world. We need to be only one face, and we need to show ourselves for who we are. We are shortcomings, and we are victories. We are defeats, and we are successes. You know, we need to be open to those things, and to let the people that we also struggle, that not everything is hunky-dory, not everything is easy. But life is something that we need to work out. Nothing was given to us in a golden plate. Everything that we try, everything that we achieve is hard work. Everything that is given to us in a golden plate is not appreciated. What is appreciated is our own efforts and our own works. Let me ask you this question to all of you at this moment. How many of you think that you are wrong? And what do you believe? How many of you think you are wrong in your life? You see, that is a very difficult question. Because believe me or not, we as human beings, and psychologically speaking, you know, we have a system inside us. It is, we trying to protect ourselves. You know, this element of self-protection. You know, and our ego grows very, very hard, very big. Our ego becomes one of our greatest enemies. And many of us, we do not like to look for advice. We don't like to look for counseling, because it's better, to do our own things. Besides, that person who knows about me, I know everything about me. I don't need anybody to tell me who I am. I already know who I am. And most of the time, we do not know even who we are, because it's a very difficult thing hide from us. The person who doesn't look for help, the person who doesn't look for advice is a fool. It's like, for example, a doctor that wants to take care of himself or herself, cure themselves. Or a lawyer who wants to represent himself or herself, in court. Then they are a fool. And many of us, we are very fool. Why? Because we do not accept from anybody any counseling or any advice. We know better than they know. And you will be surprised how much we do not know, or how deceived we have been for ourselves. In this process, the judges are given the role to clarify and to, according to the Torah, to give it to the men a clarity about certain decisions. Because sometimes we do not know what is the better way. Then somebody outside me who is objective can give me a better dictamen. Now, I have done a lot of counseling, and I like to use a very interesting way to do counseling. I call it the mirror counseling. What I do is, or the reflector counseling. I usually listen to the person or to the people who they want, and I listen very carefully. I let them talk, and then suddenly I talk to them like I am giving them an advice. The only thing that I am doing is repeating what they told me. Okay? And they open their mouths from one side to the other, and they say, wow, how clever you are, how intelligent you are. Well, I cannot believe how much you know. How do you know that? And they just told me, But we are not capable to see it in ourselves until somebody reflects to us the truth. And then we start seeing. The greatest thing for any human being, is to understand that we need help, and we need to be helped by others, and that we need to have an objective help. Here, they immediately after to choose judges, they say these judges, they don't need to be bribed, they don't need to be bold, they need to be impartial, they need to be honest. And they say, Tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Pursue justice, justice pursue. Always justice. We Jewish people, we are fanatical for justice. This has been in our history, we are looking for justice. This is the reason that right now we have a hard time being in the promised land and having problems with this group of Arabs that they do not want to accept us, and they call us every name that is impossible. If the people knew the true story about the Middle East, about what happened after the 48, when was giving the United Nations allow Israel to become a nation, a state. If the people will know the truth, what was behind. If we take away all the fallacies that have been invented, that have been concocted by other groups, the invention of, putting the bad name that has given to Israel, the bad name that has given to the Zionists, the bad name that has been given to all of us because we belong to a group of people that supposedly were different to the rest. And we've been castigated, punished, because we had a calling, being light to the world. And Through the time, you're going to see that when the people repeat a lie over and over and over again, they become a truth for them. And the rest of the people believes. You know, for example, I have many times has told you, how many people today, if you ask them who are the Palestinians, who are they going to tell you? They are the Arabs who live in that area. And they are totally convinced that that's true. And that is the biggest lie that has been created. The Palestinian people don't exist. This is made up. And even the most interesting thing, the Jewish people were called Palestinians before the Palestinians, the Arabs, because the Arabs were the Arabs and the Jews were the Palestinians. That's to tell you how men can change the truth. And we need to search for the truth. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Justice, justice needs to be overall. And this is part of our motto. This is part of our life. Then when you do a counseling, like I do sometimes, I need to be sure that I am objective. Sometimes I need to deal with two people that has a conflict, and you know, and I always tell them, please, I need to hear both of you. I cannot hear only one side, because if I hear only one side, I'm going to have a bias. I need to listen both sides. No? When I have couples that come to me, you know, each one of them are right and the other is wrong. You know, and I listen both. At the end, when we finish our conversation, they need to learn that both are right and both are wrong. They have certain things that they're right, and there are certain things that are wrong. And this is how we make a better decisions, we make a better relationship. How many times I have found myself with people who say to me, I don't care what you say. I don't care what other people think. I don't care. I am who I am. That's not a problem. That is pride. Because all of us as human beings, we have areas that we need to improve. And the better way to improve, to humble yourself. And humble yourself before the Creator. Humble yourself. If you are so full of yourself, full of air, hot air, the hot air, the only thing that makes you is to float in the air. But then when they pinch you, that hot air is gone, and you are good for nothing. You are flat. Well, we need sometimes to be flat in order to ask for help. Then when we are requested by the Torah that we need to have judges, we need to have leaders, we need to have authorities, we need to have a king, we need to have a priest, we need to have a prophet. What he's saying is we need guidance. We need to have people that have been given certain giftiness, you know, that in order that they can share with that. You know, and we see that in the Torah. Do you remember when Moshe Rabbeinu is told by the Creator to choose Bezalel? You know, and Bezalel is a very special man. And he said that Bezalel has three conditions, very interesting. He has the skill, he has the ability, and he has the knowledge. The skill is something that you learn and you work very hard to do something good, you know. The ability is something natural within you. And the knowledge is something that you learned through research or doing things. If you put all this together, you become a complete person. And each one of us, we have something special that the Creator has been giving to us. No one of us, we have come to this earth empty. We have something. And many of us, we want to spend the rest of our lives pursuing to know what the Creator has made me for. I just not long ago, I was talking to a gentleman, now an old man. And he said to me, my life has been a waste. you know? And I say, what is the waste? I have not accomplished to nothing. I have not done anything. I don't have anything. For him to have is material things. You know? And then I ask him, what about, do you have family? Are you married? Do you have children? You have grandchildren? And then, oh yeah, that's the only reason that I still live. You know, sometimes we do not realize the blessings that we have received with the time, the families that we have, the friends that we have been able to have, the people that we are together. And you know, sometimes you have friends that are closer than your own family. And sometimes you don't realize about that, because this is something that you have founded through the times. Sometimes your real family, your blood family, is very far away. But you have family here that even there is not your own blood, but that you related with them as something very personal. This is the process in a community. In community, we all work together as one, and we help each other. But what is the problem? The problem, again, I'm going to repeat, is pride. You see, I ask you, how many of us, we think that we are wrong, or we are doing anything wrong? Most of us, we think that everything that we do is right. You know, and if we do something wrong, we cover up, or we're trying to explain it. We're trying to justify it. We're constantly justifying our actions. I say to people, you know what? Try to avoid to justify yourself and accept when you have done something wrong and say, I'm sorry, I did wrong. You are going to see how freer you will be, how better you are going to be than to try to cover up and to justify your actions. How many of us we are courageous enough, valiant enough to say, you know, I did something wrong. Because this is what the Creator teaches. And the word for this time of the year is very important, because the word is called teshuvah. You know, teshuvah is acknowledging. Teshuvah is acknowledging about yourself. Teshuvah is recognizing who you are, who we are. Teshuvah is coming to the very deep of our tripas, our kishkish, you know, and to really, really understand what is going on with us. Meanwhile, you do not accept honestly who you are, that you not make a balance of yourself, you will always living in a lie. How many of us will live a lie? How many of us we do not like to be told the truth? How many of us would like to be undercover? I was looking at a very interesting verse. You know, I have told you that one of my favorites, I have favorite prophets. Ezekiel is one of those, and Jeremiah, of course, is also very, very special. And this time, Jeremiah has something very interesting. In chapter 9, okay, let me see if I found it here. In chapter 9, verse 22 and 23. Let me read this to you. The Lord said this: let the wise not boast of wisdom, nor the courageous valiant of valor, nor the wealthy man of riches. But let anyone who wants to boast of this, of understanding and knowledge of me. Understanding and knowledge of me. Do you remember how many times I have repeated you this beautiful word from our Messiah, Yeshua? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know, when you have a knowledge of the Creator, you have an understanding of the Creator, you become free of yourself, because He will come to you and He's going to show you the areas that you need to improve, the areas that you need to change. Not all of us, we are corrupt. Not all of us, we are doing everything wrong. But there are areas that are like things that are holding us back. And we can never advance because those things are holding us back. No? And we need to be honest with ourselves. You know? By the way, you won't find two persons alike, and you won't find two persons who want everything the same. It's impossible. That's the wrong idea. And every time that you are in a place that everybody wants the same thing, I say run from there. Okay? Because that is not something that is freedom and there is something to choose, that it may become like a cult. Brainwashing. You need to be open-minded and you need to understand that you are uniquely made. You know, Psalms 139. How wonderfully speak about that we have been made in a marvelous way. The Creator knew us before we were born. He saw us as embryo, and He knew our thoughts and everything else. You know, how wonderful it is. Then, when we say, you know, what a mistake that the Creator made making me. You know, how many of us, we are so negative about ourselves. You know, I say to many people, you do not need an enemy. You are your worst enemy. You are very self-destructive. We need to start changing our mentality. You know, oh, I cannot do that. Oh, that's enough for me. That is too much. Are you afraid? Afraid of failure? Are you afraid to do something that you are going to fail? You know, if you read a story of the most prominent men in the world, you are going to see that many of them failed more than 1,000 times before they made it. They try and they try and they try. Perseverance. And they believe it in themselves. Our Creator doesn't commit mistakes. And neither of us, we are a mistake. But we need to be the best. We need to work on that area. And to work on that area, we need to start being honest with ourselves. And we need a judge. We need somebody who is going to sit down in front of us and is going to analyze and make us aware of what are the areas that we are failing. We are many times afraid to hear the truth. And sometimes, that's the truth. That is a fact. We do not like the truth. We prefer to live in a lie. And you know how much we can go far if we accept that there is a lot of good things in us and not everything is bad. You know? How many times I have been with people who say to me, you know, I don't know why to keep living. And I say, why do you say that? You know? There are people that I have talked to people who have been trying to commit suicide. You know, I call it suicide is a permanent solution for a temporal problem. No? And many of us, we commit suicide because we want to run away from the truth, from the reality. You know? Face it. What's the worst that can happen? That your pride is going to go down? Good. Because one thing that we do not need is pride. Pride deteriorates everything and takes us away from the Creator. Let's be strong in the saying that I am who I am because I was made in this way, and the Creator wants the best for me, and I'm going to try to do the best. I need to have help, I will ask help. There's nothing wrong to ask help to others. in a community, we need each other. I, as your rabbi, I cannot be a rabbi if I don't have a community. I will be in the air, no? And I can give you advice, and you too, you can give me advice to me. You see? Because it works in two ways. It's not only one way, it's two ways. I was not born knowing everything or know everything. Totally the contrary. I am learning. And most of the time, I learn through you. What you do, what you teach me, what you share with me. And this is the way that more of us, we are part of this community. It's time that we see in this way who I am. I am really the person who I want to project, or the only thing that I am projecting is a lie. You know, I always say it's better to have only one face than many faces. It's better to be honest than to be a hypocrite. We live in a society in which hypocrisy is a gift, is a virtue. More hypocrite you are, more virtuous you are. More honest you are, more bad person you are. You know, it's a malady to be honest. Many of us, we do not realize. But we have become so polite, okay, quote unquote, that we do not have the temperament, we don't have the capability to be honest. We cannot be honest. Why? Because we are afraid to be honest. You see, one thing, you can say the truth without hurting other people. The truth sometimes, as my father, blessed be his memory, used to say, you know, the truth, it is no, it's not bitter, but the truth can be hard. No? And sometimes we need to hear the truth in ourselves. Examine. And when you examine yourself, when you do the introspection, I'm going to tell you, the introspection is very good because you analyze yourself. But I always look for somebody who you trust and is objective to help you to understand even beyond your own understanding. If you are your best counselor, you are a fool. It's like I told you, a doctor who wants to take care of himself or herself, or a lawyer who wants to represent himself or herself, or anybody. You know, do you know that in most of the hospitals, doctors are not allowed to treat their own relatives? Why they are not? Because they lose objectivity. And they desire to help so much, they become blinded. And they cannot be objective. We need to start learning about helping each other in a way that it is profitable for everyone, always putting first the Creator. And sometimes we say certain things that are hard. Don't take it as an insult. Examine and say, why this person say something about me in this way? You know? And then talk to the person and check. You know? And sometimes you're going to learn a lot of things in the good way. But if you hide it or you cover up, you are not helping anybody. You are not helping yourself, not helping the other person. Because when you cover up, you hold that thing in your heart. And you're going to take it with you. And that is a bitterness. It's a root of bitterness that you need to take it away from you. The Creator is a God of order. He has given us order. Everything has a place. No? Only us, we create chaos. And more chaos there is more problems there are. And we need to look for order. We need to look for clarity. Our God is not a God of darkness. He's a God of light. And he wants to us to be transparent. And sometimes it's very difficult. People confuse being polite with being a hypocrite. People confuse to be nice to be a liar. You know, there are many ways to work and to do. But when the judge gives the verdict, it's because it's based on the Torah. And the Torah is giving us light to see. You know, no two cases are the same. No two people are identical. And we need to learn to check out each one of us for who we are, not for what somebody else is. Do not compare one with other. Let's take it for who we are. Each one of us are valuable in the eyes of the Creator. And this is why he brought to us and said, you need to choose judges, authorities. Why? Because we need outside us somebody who can give us a guidance, somebody who can keep us in the right way, and also we need a king. That means we need a leader who's going to lead us in the big picture of the country. And we need a priest. A priest is the one that's going to teach us about the things of the Creator. And we need a prophet. A prophet is the one that is going to guide us in the right way. May the Lord bless each one of you, bless this community. And as Jews that we are expecting the Messiah to come. You know, we ask that our Creator bring us sooner something that we can hold on to. Because the world is going from bad to worse. We're going to a place that almost to not return. You know? One time I told you a class of physics, you know, about the process from elasticity to plasticity. You know? Elasticity is when you have elastic and you pull it and then comes back to the same place. But then when you pull too much, goes to the next stage. The next stage is plasticity. And when plasticity starts elongating, but now when you let it go, it doesn't come back to the same place until comes the point of rupture. I believe that this world already has passed the process of elasticity. We cannot come back to the ideal place. But we are right now in plasticity. And we are very, very close to the point of rupture. And we need to be prepared for that. And the only one that can help us in that time is our Creator. This is the reason that we need to be stronger than ever, and we need to be clear about ourselves, our families, our community. Are we part or we are not part? Are we one or we are not? We are each one, you know, and each one of us is very distinctively unique. And this is what makes us so special. May the Lord bless you and keep you and give you a very special day. Shabbat Shalom.